All right, good morning, good evening, good night. Welcome into NFT Live on the Web3 network. We're bringing you the latest NFT and Web3 news from across the industry. And sometimes we get graced by amazing projects, which we have one today. We have Dr. Wagme here from the Aavegotchi DAO. He's here to give us a live run through of the new features, specifically the Forge. So we got a live demo coming at you. I'm sitting here also with my good friend Gifted, who just came off his GM Web3 morning show, where we were talking about DigiDaigaku Super Bowl ads. Good for the space, bad for the space. Who knows? We just go round and round. What's up, Gif? How you doing, man?
Nobody knows, Q, and that's why it's fun to talk about it because we get to speculate and nobody can tell us that we're right or wrong. It's great. Yeah, no, a lot to discuss, a lot of headlines. Obviously, hope that y'all had a great Super Bowl Sunday. Hope your team won. I was actually at Baron Davis's
Oh, you
studio.
went?
Yeah, man.
How'd that go?
It was actually a vibe. It was chill as heck. He has a whole Web3 compound that he's building out here in LA, and he's doing these events now. So it's actually the second time that I've gotten to go hang out. It's like he's got Black Santa, spray painted all over the walls, and he's got a couple different rooms and like arcade games and a whole studio. He's doing his own podcast there. So it's actually cool. So shout out Baron Davis for actually throwing one sweet Super Bowl party yesterday. And yeah, very excited to be here with Dr. Wagme and you, of course, Nifty Q, to learn more about Aavegotchi because this is a project that both Q and Biggie have been very bullish on, telling me a lot about. And, we have this concept. I think, Q, you were the one that actually coined the term, but this concept of a complexity chasm that a lot of projects, once they start to get a little bit more complicated, it can be very hard to kind of bring new people in, right? People kind of feel like, oh, I missed the boat on it, or like there's too much going on. And so I've kind of felt a little bit like that, like as an outsider with Aavegotchi. And so I'm excited to get a better handle on it.
Well, that's what we do on today's show and multiple shows throughout the week. We're here every 1 p.m. Eastern Standard on pretty much every day except Fridays, where we have other creators come in and create different content. But we're like bridge builders. Like that's what I'm going to put on my LinkedIn now, is trying to build bridges
Resume topper,
to
building bridges in Web3,
to
Web3 to
cross
Web2.
this complexity chasm. Dr. Wagme, we are going to talk about that like complexity chasm and these like things that you guys are building out that your Aavegotchi has frankly been great at. You guys are great at releasing different features. The community engagement is, I'm sure, like from like a ratio perspective, one of the most engaged communities in Web3 and NFTs. Looking to get into all of that, but we like to keep it light to start. So, did you catch the Super Bowl last night? What are you up to? Can you kind of give us an introduction of yourself, not podcast style, but a small intro?
Yeah, for sure. I definitely caught the Super Bowl. I'm a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, big Mahomes
Oh,
fan. I went to medical school in Kansas City, got a lot of love for that city, and it felt really good seeing the Chiefs win 2 out of 4. I would have loved if there was no controversy at the end. I think the Chiefs were the better team. Would have been nice if there wasn't an unfortunate call, but I think they would have won anyways. And I'm happy to celebrate, feeling good about the Chiefs for sure.
yeah, go Chiefs! Absolutely, man. What are you doing in NFTs outside of Aavegotchi these days? I know, again, it's a tough thing to probably just like continue to get your heads down and work on Aavegotchi DAO and all those things. But are you doing anything outside that ecosystem at all, or anything has caught your eye other than this Super Bowl ad we're about to talk about?
I think the most active part for me is definitely Aavegotchi. I am like Gotchi pilled through and through, and then I spend just a ton of time in the community and building. But I'm a Wanderers holder. I don't know if you guys follow the Wanderers project at all. It's on Polygon, which is really fun. And I definitely enjoy keeping up with everything that's going on in the broad NFT space. There's so much to keep up with. I've been following what's going on with the doodles recently, and like with the new content that they've put out, and just thinking a lot about how projects are interacting with their holders now, what it means to create value in this space, and just a lot to learn from, even if you're not actively invested in all the projects that you cover.
Absolutely. Okay, so I don't want to get a dive in to Aavegotchi just yet. We're going to hit the chat really quick and get to some housekeeping. Transitor was first in chat that I can see, saying, hello, Gotchi gang. Gotchi Bulls is saying, yo, yo, yo. So a lot of Gotchi gang in the house. I mean, we've had Aavegotchi on the network since I think y'all's inception. So we've had Golden Cross on the network a couple times. It's been an absolute ride just in the NFT space, and it's awesome to see Aavegotchi's growth. So good to see the Gotchi gang back. Let's see. There's mention of a Dr. Set. I don't know exactly what that is all about. High Plains 66 is saying Gotchi gang. We got some tribe members in the house as well. Mike Erlinson, Alpha TA, Time. We got a Fred Durst shout out. And Time is also asking, have been to the compound a few times. Gift, did you play on the court?
So no, because the court was taken over, but they had a giant projector with like a cover outside and a bunch of couches. That's like the main court. What I found out though yesterday that I didn't know, they actually have 2 basketball courts. He has 2 basketball courts at this compound, and like one of them, apparently there's like a nicer one that I haven't even seen yet. He keeps that one only to himself or his friends. But there's like a smaller court where he does a bunch of the activations and the events, and we were actually hanging out on that.
Speaking of activations and events, again, guys, we're going to get to Aavegotchi here in a second. We got a live walkthrough, a live demo to go through. Dr. Wagner's taking us through it himself. What's going on in Denver? What's going on in Denver at the end of the month, Gift Ed? We got Web3 Denver. Take us through what is happening that week for that amazing conference.
Yo, I just put a little bit of food in my mouth. Sorry.
I got you. I am the filler. I give the best filler of all time. Gift Ed and Phil have been working tirelessly to put what goes on behind like creating these events. I hope you guys understand how much work goes in, and Phil and Gift Ed have been putting in an amazing amount of time to get just the starting embers for what's going to be a dope party and a dope event out in Web3. So hopefully that was good filler, Gift.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. And yeah, shout out Phil. I don't know if he's listening. He was in GM Web3 listening in this morning, but we couldn't be doing this without him and his team at Neon Creative, Interactive Media Design. They've got a bunch of locals on the ground. And yeah, this is the website. This is now live at w3b3.life. That's web3.life with 3s instead of E's. So w3b3.life is the website. Let's definitely drop that in the chat as well. But you can see the initial tentative lineup for some of the projects and partners there, some of the amazing sponsors, and also we are doing a giveaway right now for a rare Chungo and 5 of the full week multi-passes to Web3 Denver. This is really special, man. We've been doing a bunch, through the Nifty Castle, through our communities, and then through Web3, doing the first multi-day event, the Web3 Lounge at the last NFT NYC. We've been doing events now at all these big conferences, these dope community satellite events for over a year and a half. We really have put on some of the dopest, most memorable community satellite events around the country at this point, and they just keep getting bigger. They keep getting bigger and better. Again, the last NFT NYC was the first time we did a multi-day event. We rented the full 17th floor of a skyscraper right near Times Square, and we programmed it for 4 days of community activations, awesome panels, parties, after parties, all different kinds of stuff, happy hours. And that was the first ever Web3 lounge. And because of the success of that, we got hit up by some Denver locals who said, look, this is what we want to do. We've got 2 locations for you guys. We want you to brand it, curate it, make it your own. And so this is the first time we're doing 2 different locations, and the whole event basically goes across the whole week. So 5 days at the Marijuana Mansion, 3 days, at Ant Life Gallery, and that's how we've got Web3 Lounge and now the Web3 Academy, so that we can focus in on like an educational onboarding track and doing the cool, the panels, the workshops, showcases, and, different types of brand activations and happy hours at the Academy. And then the Web3 Lounge at the Marijuana Mansion is just going to be, exactly what you imagine. It'll be the community hang. It'll be where the dopest happy hours are happening, cool parties. We're doing a Chungo Mansion party, Q. We are doing a Chungo's Mansion party, and that's part of why we're giving away a rare Chungo. It's actually, this isn't a joke. There's really going to be a Chungo's Mansion party at the Marijuana Mansion. I'm so excited, and you're right, Q. It's a lot of work, but like it's coming together, and we're getting to that point now where we get to announce it and start rolling it out to you, So w3b3.life, and it's on our Twitter now. Help us get the word out and get in on that giveaway. It's at the bottom of the website, giving away 5 full week multi passes and a rare chungo.
What are the details on this giveaway real quick? What do they have to do?
You just go check it out. It'll tell you what to do. It's basically like just entering it, but you can gamify it, right? So you can stack your odds of winning and getting a bunch of more entries by taking social action. So it's a viral sweep thing. It's free to enter. But if you want to come back each day and do a new entry, you can do daily entries. And then, the more social actions that you take, you just get more entries on top of that. So it's up to you how many entries you want to get. But it all helps you to hopefully win at the end.
All right. Well, that event is going to be there at the end of February as well. If you're going to ETH Denver, hit us up. Just hit us up in the DMs. Let us know what's going on. If you have a project, if you're just going by yourself, we'd love to see you. I mean, we're going to be doing NFT live from the Marijuana Mansion as well on the daily. So it's going to be an awesome, it's going to be an awesome time. We're going to have an awesome time on this show because we have Dr. Wagme here.
I want to say the dates out loud for anybody who's just catching this on audio. It's February 28th to March 4th. So it's 5 days. It's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday of the main week. Those 5 days, February 28th to March 4th. And it's going to be lit.
I have no idea what to expect from this Chungos party. But all right, we're going to get into the episode. So normally, Dr. Wagme, the way this works is we hit like a market sentiment / price action kind of portion of the episode, and then we go into quick news, and then we go into our topic. But today we're going to flip-flop that. If you have to leave at any point, just let us know. Me and Giff can be talking heads up here all day. So we're going to hit Aavegotchi first, and then we will do the news pieces like the DigiDaigaku. SEC came through pretty heavy-handedly on the crypto space over the weekend as well, with Kraken, Coinbase responding and all that stuff. So, but first, we will
Aavegotchi. Aavegotchi?
Can we get to the important stuff? Giff, do you call Tamagotchi? Because that's I need the right verbiage here of what we should be calling Aavegotchi.
I always said Tamagotchi, but I'm not an expert on these things, so
I would go with Aavegotchi. Just Gochi sounds like goat cheese. I don't know if that's what we're going for. So go for Aavegotchi, but
I don't know. Might help people making everybody hungry though when they say it.
Right.
You want to eat a gochi? Okay. Guys, before we get started, please leave a like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, we're covering the NFT and Web3 space every day of the week. And we have awesome creators on the channel like Kane Mayfield, Easy and Crypto, Fun Uncle, including myself and Gifted, as well as Biggie Poppins and a lot of others that I'm not mentioning. So, all right. Let's do it. Let's get into Aavegotchi. Again, we've been, covering Aavegotchi since basically the creation of the brand, the creation of the company, the creation of everything that has flourished in this ecosystem. So, we're happy to have you guys back. Dr. Wagme, if you could quickly kind of give your role or explain your role in the ecosystem, and then I'm going to just let you take us wherever you want to take us with Aavegotchi.
Oh, let's do it. We're going to be here a while. But getting just back to Denver real quick. I know I'll be there. A whole bunch of the Aavegotchi crew is going to be there at ETH Denver. So look forward to that. We will find you guys at the Marijuana Mansion and say hello, for sure. And looking forward to it.
Heck yeah.
As far as Aavegotchi goes, I've been in the Aavegotchi ecosystem for quite a while now, about a year and a half. I'm basically just a Gotchi pilled community DAO member, and don't have a formal role with Pixelcraft, who are the creators of Aavegotchi. And that's what's so cool about Aavegotchi is the community is everything. And we know that pretty well in the NFT space. But Aavegotchi is pretty special because the community does things. We build, we contribute to the protocol, and add value that way. And that's what we took on with the Forge, which we're going to talk about a little bit today. And you guys are definitely right. It's a huge rabbit hole, and it can feel really intimidating to get into. But what's really exciting about some of the things that we're adding on with the Forge mechanic is I think these are going to be really user-friendly experiences that people understand what we're trying to accomplish, and it will feel like really gamified, taking mechanics that you've played all your life in RPGs or MMORPGs and turning them into sustainable, healthy Web3 experiences. And that's what we'll walk through with Forge, if that sounds good.
Yeah, let's do it. I have a trailer pulled up here. I will also say Aavegotchi has a very, very soft place in my heart because they actually got me to bridge to Polygon for the first time. They had set up that really user-friendly bridge when it wasn't at a time when there weren't many bridges set up, and I was able to find out about Quick Swap and all these different things happening within the Polygon ecosystem. So big shout out to them. But yeah, let's go. Let's take us.
And just on that note of the Polygon ecosystem, blowing up right now, right? All the hype around Polygon, the NFTs on Polygon, the energy that the youths are bringing is really awesome. I know we're loving that. Sandeep has Aavegotchi PFP right now. And so anytime that a founder of Polygon is repping your project, you got to feel pretty good about that. And we got a ton going on the ecosystem to be excited about. I think this is just the beginning of us blowing up.
Yeah, let's actually stay in here because Gifted and me have been covering Polygon a good amount on the channel, right? They don't have this like flourishing PFP ecosystem yet. You guys are like probably one of the biggest. We heard about Utes transferring over. GIF has a Starbucks NFT dashboard set up where he's got Starbucks NFTs starting to come into play, Reddit avatars and all this stuff. What else is going on in GIF? I'd love to get your take here as well on asking, kind of wag me what you'd like about Polygon.
Nah, I mean, you named most of the projects that I'm like in on or paying attention to, other than obviously a lot of the bigger developments that are all going there that we've kind of been mentioning and watching the headlines about. So no, I mean, I want to learn more about Aavegotchi specifically because I think it's the one that if it's like an OG big project there, I'm trying to figure out how do I get into it. But yeah, since we have Dr. Wagme, maybe before we keep going further into that rabbit hole, if there are other things on those other projects that Q mentioned, like a Reddit, like a Utes, or any of those things that we might not know about that are happening that you find exciting, that'd be cool to know.
Man, I mean, Polygon has so much going on from a business development standpoint. It's like impossible to keep up with it, right? I think we just got. It's like 10 million Reddit NFTs now have been minted on Polygon, just like a ridiculous number. Like Starbucks is on there, Nike is on there, like JP Morgan. I don't know what they're using NFTs for, but they're on there too. Like they're just like pumping out partnership after partnership, just really legitimizing the space. And I think we should expect to see a cascade of other, name brand entities like looking to dip their toes in, and like why would they not partner with Polygon? And one of the things we're really excited about is Supernets, right? I think we all get frustrated with like lots of microtransactions, or as Polygon is getting more popular, we're seeing gas fees climb up a little bit. And the Supernets should be coming out this year, which means lower transaction fees, better user experience, and that's what we need for adoption, right? Is for it to feel good and fun and not expensive. And all bets are on Polygon to deliver that first. And I'm pretty pumped about it. It's going to be good for us.
What do you think? Sorry, go ahead.
No, the one project that interests me most that we've mentioned, like just in this like initial conversation, is Utes, because obviously we could hit on Starbucks, we could hit on the rest of them, Reddit, of course, but the Utes have kind of a checkered past, and the ETH community looks at them in a certain way as well. So it's interesting that you're kind of like looking at them in a positive light of coming over to Polygon. I wonder if Aavegotchi will ever kind of reach out and have some type of collaboration, or how you're looking at the Utes coming into Polygon.
Well, and also just to add to that, the grant part of it, like in this like sort of poaching of other big brands and creators from other chains to like come to Polygon.
Yeah, I can't speak too much to the poaching or buying a big brand. I think Solana is dealing with a lot on its own, and maybe the time was right for them to make a move. As far as being excited for them to be here, like absolutely, seeing what the youths can do from just a promotion and like marketing standpoint. There are like a lot of really talented people and creators and builders in the youths community, and I will take all the builders we can get onto our chain. Like it's a great, brain drain from Solana to Polygon, and if we can get not just like the hype around it or volume on the NFT marketplaces, but builders and thought leaders on our chain, it's going to be a win for us. So really excited to partner with them. already thinking a lot about how we can partner Aavegotchi with Utes. Can we have like a Ute's pet, from the uterus to the Chad, right? I coined that. I feel pretty good about it. But from a baby Ute to like the Chad Ute, and like what does that look like in Aavegotchi? And that's one of the things that are going to be possible with the Forge is lots of good partnerships, lots of engagement with these other communities, and we're going to all win together. I think that's how I see like the metaverse working and these NFT communities just like really overlapping a lot because there's just so much work that needs to be done, and we need each other to do it.
Okay, we laid the foundation here. Take us into maybe the release of the Forge, but maybe afterwards you could also kind of give us a timeline into how we got here. But I would love to just get into the Forge and see what this new release is all about.
For sure. Well, Gift Dad, you were talking about like how do I get into Aavegotchi? I think just think of the Gotchi as like the PFP, right? Like this is like your cute little ghost. And what's fun about ours is you can equip them with wearables. So you can like have these cool wearables that exist. There's hundreds of them, and you can put that on your Gotchi, and all the art is on chain. Like there you see like a cute dude holding a basketball. He's got his basketball band on. He's got his Michael Jordan jersey. And this is cool, right? That you can customize your Gotchi. Those like change the traits. They're going to be able to do things in the game, make you like a better battler, defender. But also they make your Gotchi more rare. And the more rare your Gotchi is, you can be rewarded for that. We have our first rarity farming snapshot tomorrow, where we will be giving out over $350,000 worth of ghost tokens to the best Gotchis. So if your Gotchi is cool and dressed up well, you get rewarded for it. That's how Aavegotchi accrues values to its holders. And wearables are a big part of that. But as we think about like wearables, I think there's so many directions you could go with this. There's so many like community tie-ins you could have. Lots of people want to have community-driven art. They want to build their own wearable, right? And one of the issues that we face in Web3 is how do we maintain scarcity while having new content? Because if we just like keep dropping wearables out, then the wearables that you had are going to be worth less and less and less. And that's not a recipe for success as we look to like take care of and value our initial holders and investors in the ecosystem. But we also like want more content, right? If there's no new content ever, like you're not going to attract new people, and a project can kind of just like wither away and your asset loses value. Yeah, so that's what we looked to do with the Forge was abstract away the different components of wearables into like what makes them valuable. So at a super high level, basically the schematic is the design for your wearable. That's the aesthetics. That's what makes it look cool. Like that's where the art is at. And there's a lot of value just for having the thing that looks cool, like what adds value to your PFP. And also they confer the traits. So if you want Hanzo Katana, that's going to be like really strong and like a good weapon in the game. It's the schematic that determines what its traits are going to be. Then the other components, so I think the second one on that list is probably the cores. And the cores are what we use as our lever to enforce scarcity. So we said that there are only going to be so many of like the items, and those are cool. We don't want to inflate those. We want to really respect our holders. So we will control exactly how many of those are emitted over time and use cores to do that. And then the third item that we use for forging is alloy. And this is basically if you like threw all of your items into like a melting pot and it would turn into alloy. Like this is what makes up all of the wearables. And from an economic standpoint, alloy represents tokenization of the entire wearables market. So it takes alloy to build any single wearable out there. And you take some amount of that alloy, you add one of those cores, which have a determined amount for the scarcity, and then the schematic, which is what it ends up looking like and what the traits are. And having those components are what you need.
How does the core work? Like you said that it's basically a limiting mechanism to preserve scarcity, but like how does that actually work?
For sure. A great example is the godlike face items. So in Aavegotchi, there's 6 different tiers of rarity, all the way from common to godlike. And we had a problem in our ecosystem that there was only a single godlike face wearable. And so what had happened is like these were sold like a year ago, those guys who were smart and they bought that item, they got the 5 that existed. There was only 5 in the whole world. And then they're not going to like sell their godlike, right? Because then they can kind of corner the market and own like all 5 of those. And what we do is we said, well, there's going to be 5 godlike cores, right? That's what exists currently. But we're going to try to even out our amounts of wearables per category. Like there's no reason there should be only 5. We want even amounts of face wearables, hand wearables, and eye wearables. And so we're going to increase the amount of cores that are available and sell those. So here in 10 days, there'll be an auction where you can buy a core, and you'll have to find the alloy somewhere else. You'll have to buy that schematic somewhere else, but that core will be needed for you to make one of those treasured godlike face items. And we put a ton of work into the economics on what a good inflation target would be. But that's like kind of boring to interact with, but basically know that you'll be able to make 2 more face items. There's 40% more. And we were able to do that without taking away value from the entire wearables market and diluting holders on a huge level. So I know it's complicated, but basically you can turn your wearables into new wearables that you like better or that fit your gotchi better. And it's done in a way that respects holders and keeps value contained in the ecosystem. So should we do it? Should we do a demo?
Let's do the demo. Yeah, let's do the demo. Also, we tested this like prior to the episode going live. So folks, if we have to like have Dr. Wagme jump in and back out, once he starts sharing his screen, we were dealing with some video issues on his camera side. So just be aware of that. That might be the first look at a problem, but all right, we're gonna go into a live demo here. We appreciate again having a member of the Aavegotchi DAO kind of walk us through what this process looks like. I think this might be a first as well for a lot of like more seasoned gotchi
worldwide
members.
Exclusive.
I know this is big. This is big. But
World
you guys
premiere.
You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Good.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, we haven't debuted this yet. We're super excited about it. This is the user interface that people will forge with. So here you're in the forge. This is my gotchi. He's going to be my forge the more you level up, which we're pretty excited about. And if you have a higher level, and it's kind of cheaper and you can make stuff faster. So I'll select my gotchi here, and we can go to smelt. So here's like the items that I have now. These are all like shirts and like head items. And so say I have 2 biker jackets, and I don't need 2 biker jackets, but I want to make something else. So what I can do is I'm going to throw those into the melting pot. Maybe I'll throw in a hat too. I'm going to melt all these down. And like we talked about, you get the components back. So I'm going to get the alloy back, and they all make the same alloy, right? But then I'll get the schematics that are necessary if I want to reforge these, and then I'll get the cores as well. And so I will submit this transaction to smelt all those. And so basically right now I am turning my NFTs into their core components. And so this is about like $100 worth of NFTs that I'm melting down. And then once you do that, you will have those components, and I can take those components and make something new. So I can go here into my inventory. I'll look at the things I have, the special schematics for the items that I just melted down if I ever want to remake those again in the future. Or I could sell those on the market because maybe someone else needed a biker jacket. And even though I don't need it, I can sell it to them. But I can still have my core, meaning like that body slot. I wanted a different shirt, basically. I still have the component I need to make that, and I still have the alloy, and I just need to get that new design that I wanted.
Obviously, as Aavegotchi gets more popular, this is going to increase, but what is the liquidity like for trading items now? Like, is there an active liquid market for the wearables as well as the schematics cores and some of these other assets?
Yeah, as far as the bazaar is our native marketplace. All trading is done there, and it is a pretty busy. If it's helpful, I can kind of like pull up like what the bazaar looks like, so you can see like how much activity is just like going on any given day. But everything is done here. We're working hard to partner with Magic Eden, where we will have our gotchis listed soon, and then you can buy wearables there also. But here in our native bazaar, you can look at all the wearables that have been bought and sold in the last 24 hours. So you see all these cool items have been purchased just within the last 24 hours. So there's decent volume here. And that also, there's what's called GBM auctions. This is kind of a deep rabbit hole in itself, but you can also kind of get instant liquidity for your wearables by putting them up for auction, which is super cool process, but basically guaranteed liquidity for your NFTs, which is really fun. And here we're on the auction site. This is where you could put up all your items for auction, and you can see these are the ones that are instantly for sale right now. I can get paid for bidding on them if I wanted to, but kind of just equally importantly, I can instantly liquidate any of my wearable NFTs that I have. So a pretty robust process in place for both selling items or buying them. And we will see full functionality for our schematics, cores, alloy, essence, and geodes, which are the new Forge native assets, come live on launch here on February 22nd. So hopefully that was the long answer for what it's like to buy and sell things.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah, so that was what we just melted a bunch of stuff down. That's the stuff we got back for it. And if I went to forge a wearable, I kind of just go through the same thing. I say, I want to make a biker jacket. It's going to tell me what I need to do it. And then I could forge. And then I will have my biker jacket back if I wanted the biker jacket, or I could use this stuff to make something else. And here in 10 days, we're going to have a big sale that has our new assets up for sale. We're super excited about that. There's like a forge set, and this is what we talked a little bit about earlier with the doctor set. This allows people in the community to say, I really wish we had this wearable, like let's design it. And we can just design the schematic, and we don't have to sell any cores or introduce any new alloy. We don't have to dilute current holders. We can just create new schematics for our community to like fit both the traits that are missing, but also that those like cool aesthetic things or gaps that we're missing in our marketplace.
What is the so is it Ghost token? Is the Aavegotchi token?
Yeah. So that is the main token. Is the Ghost token. The Ghost. This is a hot topic right now, but kind of long and short of it is it's on a bonding curve, which means there's a lot of stable coin that's preventing volatility both to the upside and the downside. And so this token powers the entire ecosystem. All sales in the ecosystem have been denominated in Ghost. There's about $25 to $30 million worth of NFTs that have been sold using the Ghost token since September of 2020. And that you can see like there's a lot less volatility to the token than you would expect from a lot of NFT projects. And that's due to the curve. And right now there is a vote to turn the curve off. So turn off that volatility protection. And we're going to take the $20 million of stablecoin of DAI that's inside it and kind of reinvest it into our ecosystem and then cap the supply of Ghost. And you can imagine that with a really thriving ecosystem, if you're like Sandeep called us, the punks of Polygon, and we have a lot of excitement around the NFT gaming space. If we cap the supply and reinvest $20 million into our ecosystem and the Ghost token, we should see some really exciting price action for Ghost because the market cap is sitting at 45 million, and compared to other projects in that space, that's really low. So we're going to see a lot of volatility, and I'm hoping and personally betting on upwards price action from the Ghost token here over the next couple weeks. And we are seeing a lot of signaling from the Polygon team for support for this. And that's nice. Pretty exciting if you have big wallets supporting token being capped.
Absolutely. So, all right, this is where it's like, trying to put all this together, right? So, okay, you exist on the Polygon chain, which would mean that you'd have to interact with Matic to get there, to use the highway. So I'm guessing you have to use Matic to then buy Ghost, and then Ghost allows you to transact in your marketplaces, and then through getting different wearables is how you can you buy alloy with Ghost, or you have to melt wearables?
You will be able to buy alloy with Ghost once it's added on to the Bazaar marketplace. Just there's some UI work that needs to be done to make sure that that native marketplace has all the functionality, but you'll be able to buy alloy with Ghost here on the 22nd. But you're right.
Because that's almost like another currency. So it's like you've got now like multiple different currencies within this ecosystem, right?
Yep, it's a lot. I think that's part of the barrier to entry. I think thinking of it in tiers, like you do have to be on Polygon, get the Ghost token. Everything that you can buy in the ecosystem is denominated in Ghost. So if you wanted to exchange Matic for Ghost or USDC or whatever, and then you could pick up your Aavegotchi. And that's probably the easiest and best way to start is just pick up the Gotchi and go from there. And all this stuff, like, the Forge is
I would love to show this anecdote too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's my tweet from earlier. But think of the Forge a little bit as product for like current, like hardcore Aavegotchi community. This is allowing you to do more with the assets you have. It's super cool. I don't expect this to like really onboard a lot of people to come just for the Forge product, but it's really important that once you're here, once you're in the community, once you have your stuff, like there's something to do. There's a path towards upward mobility. I can go from like common item, and over time I can like level it up to an aspiring godlike item, and being able to have a sense of progression is really fun.
Yeah, progression is key to a good game, and also just having, to your point, new content, things to do. What is the point of the game? Like, so obviously, like progression and leveling up your Gochi, it kind of seems like that's one of the core mechanics or purposes. Is like you want to just keep improving your character and leveling it up, trying to get it towards God tier. Is that like sort of the main point of it, or is there like, what's the game exactly to you long term?
Yeah, I think one of the easy ways to think about it is this is a protocol that has lots of assets, and then the goal is to have lots of people building games and experiences on the protocol that are what you want. I think some people are excited about just the PFP component. Like, I just want to be a part of this community, like part of this culture, and just give me the PFP. Like, and that's fine with me. Extra bonus if I can like add some wearables. Here you see Pixelcraft's The Gotchiverse. This is the flagship game that's using the protocol assets, where hundreds of us were trying to take down these pumpkins on Halloween. And we expect to see a lot of growth in this game specifically, as a lot of like this where the trades will play out, and it's going to be like an MMORPG where you can like play a game, kill stuff, loot stuff, and you use your native assets that will accrue the value in the game.
So I was going to say, it looks like some kind of MMORPG right there, right? But it's like kind of like a 2D sort of rudimentary open world right now. Like it feels very sort of arcadey. Right. And that's obviously like the style. Is the goal to basically scale what you have here to just be more massively multiplayer, or do you think that like also part of it is to move into like 3D at some point? Like where do you see this going? And also I'm curious if there's any stats around like how active this main game, you said Gotchiverse, right?
Yeah, it's the Gotchiverse. So it's pretty active. I think we have around 2,000 to 3,000 daily active users. But I mean, the goal is obviously more than that. And we need really fun, engaging gameplay for that to happen. It was an incredibly ambitious project to like build like a huge like open Rome game. And so that's kind of the big longitudinal effort that we'll see from Pixelcraft. And we're going to see some other fun games hop up in the meantime. One of the other game that they're working on is called Gotchi Guardians. It's going to use the native assets. It's in 3D. It's just going to be a survival game where there's like waves of bad guys come in and you got to survive them. And if you survive them, you can like get paid in native tokens.
So they're going to be creating multiple different games using the same assets.
Think about it, GIF, like a gaming protocol almost, where they're kind of laying a foundation and having people build different games on top of it.
Like Roblox?
Yeah. it's kind of like, imagine like Polygon's console, right? Like this is the console where a lot of games will be built. So I think that's a fun comparison. Someone in the community is building like a card game where it's kind of like Catan, but in the Gotchiverse. One of our other community members is building a roguelike dungeon crawler. I don't know if you've ever got into like The Binding of Isaac or other games like that, but that also uses the native assets. So we're going to see a suite of games built around a huge community and these native assets. And you can kind of use what you want, use what you need, have that intellectual property, like have the art already done, and then be able to build your game. So that's why I'm excited about attracting builders to Polygon, is because now they'll have something to build on.
And you don't define Gotchiverse or Gotchiverse or Aavegotchi as play to earn, but it does seem like one of the core mechanics and why a lot of people are interested is because by participating, you do earn ghost tokens or different assets and things like this that can be actually valuable.
Right. Yeah, I don't really like the play to earn mentality. Like I'm here like to make money and leave, right? But the way I'm thinking about it is like the value that you create when you play is like goes to the holders, right? So if you level up your character, you own that little guy and you could sell him later if you want. It's not like you're trying to just like make money and leave, but the value that you create by being here, you own it. And I think that's the experience that Pixelcraft is trying to deliver, and a lot of the other games too.
Hey, before we move on, guys, if you are in the Gotchi gang or you're not in the Gotchi gang and want more people in this show, go ahead and kind of share out the episode. That would be awesome. If you guys have access to the Aavegotchi server, Discord server, that would be awesome if you guys could share and get more Gotchi gang in here. Otherwise, I will drop the tweet for today's episode. What's up, Gif?
Well, liking the video also really, really helps get it seen by more people. Let's use these algorithms to our benefit. So if you're a fan of Aavegotchi and everything we're talking about, like it, share it, help it get seen by more people.
Xavier and Soju, we see you in the chat. Squashman saying Catan. Okay, I'm on the hook now. Donar has a great comment.
I agree with that. I'm a big Catan fan, by the way. I was going to comment. Yeah.
Donar is saying a focus on fair economics and engaged community, active dev in the verse, and a low market cap. Solid. Here's my question. Since the beginning, and we've covered Aavegotchi since its creation, like I said earlier in the episode, we've had Golden Cross on multiple times. We see the quality that's being put out by Aavegotchi. Why is Aavegotchi still under the radar for a lot of people in the community?
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think being on Polygon, not a super robust NFT space up to this point, has been like one factor. I think that we're kind of branding ourselves as a gaming protocol, but it takes a lot of time to develop good games that people want to play, that are fun to play. And I think we need a really fun gaming product to like attract and keep people that previously weren't interested, that they want to come just to play the game or the games that are here. So I think that's what we need to attract like non-native crypto people. As far as like why we're not getting like more traction from crypto natives, I'm not sure. There's no venture capital invested. This is just like a complete like Pixelcraft. They own all the IP. Like they've refused money from outside, and I think that's probably been limiting a little bit in growth that you see when you get big VC partnerships. And then also the ghost token too, right? Like if you have an unlimited supply and you're capping your upside, that's going to turn a lot of people away because this is a risky space. If I'm going to invest in the space, like I don't love the idea of capping my upside because we all know the downsides in NFT gaming are zero. So I'm a big proponent of turning the curve off so we can uncap our upside, let ghost fly, and then be an attractive thing to look into. And I think the more eyes that look at this project, they're going to be like, oh, there's like actually stuff going on beneath the surface. This is more than just like a token in a game that might never deliver. So I think we need to align our incentives, uncap our upside, get people looking at our ecosystem, and deliver a fun product and fun game to attract the users that we all think are coming.
So Sorry, I wanted to get back into it, but Q, did you have something else you wanted to throw in?
My last question, unless something else comes up, is I've been a big proponent of Aave from the very beginning. Another early project, although in the DeFi sector on Polygon. What's the integration as it exists today with Aave and Aavegotchi? You guys actually were. I thought there was some tie-in with like some funding you guys got from Aave themselves.
Yeah, the founders of Pixelcraft had some ties with Aave pretty early. And kind of the initial concept for these gotchis was you would bring them to life with the interest-bearing tokens from Aave. So if you put collateral into Aave, you like get interest paid to those tokens, which is pretty cool. And those tokens are inside every gotchi. So the gotchis essentially work as a piggy bank where, like for me, Dr. Wagme, he cost $100 of USDC to bring to life. And now he has $103 worth of USDC inside him because he's a little piggy bank. So that was kind of the initial idea. And obviously, we've evolved into much more than that. And I think our huge focus on DeFi has probably been a little bit of a barrier too, right? Like it's already hard enough to learn how to do stuff in the space, but then to understand like, how do I get these tokens, Aavegotchi, or these like Aave tokens to bring my gotchi to life is like yet another barrier. So some of the early user experience issues have been a little bit limiting, and the DeFi component isn't as big of a focus for our community as it used to be. It kind of will be in the background as we're talking about treasury management, about liquidity management, and there's a lot of us that are really interested in that as DeFi super users, but our end product and the users that come to play the games like aren't going to be interested in that, and that's okay. So trying to abstract away that complexity from the end user should be a goal for all of us over the next couple months. But long answer, there's Aave tokens inside all the gotchis, and they earn interest.
Got it. That's the last one for me. Gif, I know you had a couple more questions. Also, we're taking some from the chat. So if you guys have any questions for Dr. Wagme while he's here, would love to get some of your participation.
Throw them in that chat. All right. So I got a couple different questions. But the first one is like, okay, if I wanted to go buy a gotchi right now, where do I go? Can we actually pull up like the marketplace floor and get an expert opinion here from Dr. Wagme on like, what are the cool traits? What would I be looking for? Like if I was, let's just say hypothetically, I'm shopping for a gotchi.
To buy a gotchi.
Yeah. So what is this marketplace? So this is the bazaar, I guess. What is the website?
Yeah. So just starting from the beginning, app.aavegotchi.com. This is where kind of everything is housed out of. V2, it's our new user interface that looks less pixely, less clunky, is coming super, super soon, and that will make this easier. But for now, go here, click on the Gotchi Bazaar. That's our native marketplace. And then you've landed here on the gotchis. It's kind of helpful.
Floor gotchi going for?
Floor gotchis, so sort by lowest price up here, 290 Ghost, so around $300 US is floor gotchi, which is not too bad for, as Sandeep put it, the punks of Polygon.
Is this like historically pretty low? Like a lot of other things are kind of low right now compared to the bull market. You know, obviously we've been in a winter for almost a year now. Like, do you feel like this is pretty low based on where it's been, or has it been holding?
What's the historical price data?
I think historical price has been around like 400 Ghost for a long time. So these are a little bit lower. Like you can tell, there's probably, it looks like 30 gotchis or 40 gotchis or so to get back to historical value. There's 25,000 total possible. So it's not your typical like 10,000 cap. So that is a little bit of why the prices are lower.
Sorry, how many?
There's 25,000 possible. So just so you know,
is that locked, or is that going to increase?
It's locked currently. If the DAO voted to have more, we could. But knowing the ecosystem really well, I can tell you that's really unlikely that there would be an increase. But this is a community that's run by the DAO. We wouldn't let Pixelcraft sell more, I can tell you that. But if DAO wanted to have more sales or like a limited edition or something, they could, but there's no plans for that currently. I was just going to walk you through. Basically, if you want a brand new gotchi that has like never been owned by anyone before, you get a portal, and inside a portal is 10 gotchis, and you can pick which one of those is your favorite, and then you get to name them and keep them and pet them and dress them up or whatever. So that's the process for getting a brand new one. And Chainlink VRF, verifiable random functionality, will pick all your traits. So like this one here is the best gotchi in this portal. And
how can you tell?
So the 526 BRS is this basic rarity score. And that's like how good all of its traits are on a bell curve. So all of the traits are on a bell curve. If you're really low, that's good. If you're really high, that's good also. And if you're kind of in the middle, it's not great. So you can see like you want traits that are on one end or the other of the bell curve, and each one of those is a call to the VRF function. And so this guy is pretty cool because he has super low spookiness, super low brain, and that's why he's like pretty rare tier here, and would be sounds a big like gotchi. Yeah, it definitely sounds like you.
So okay, so Xavier's saying Haunt 1 and Haunt 2 both had 25K total. So Haunt 1 had 10K portals, Haunt 2 had 15K portals. Is that basically the supply of the gotchis as it stands today?
That's correct, because each portal can have one gotchi inside of it. There's a couple thousand portals that have been unopened, so these are like yet to be minted gotchis. And then I think there's around between 19 and 20,000 gotchis that have been minted from their portal. So if you want to buy one that's already minted, you can. The floor for those is around 290. But if you want one that's a totally brand new gotchi that might have something super rare inside and be super good, the floor for that is 424 Ghost. And these ones have been opened. That's why they look like that. And so the 10 are inside it, but whoever had that portal didn't summon them yet, so they're still inside, like still waiting to be minted.
Why would you open it without summoning?
Because you can see what's in it, right?
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like someone's selling you like an opened pack of Pokemon cards, if that makes sense.
Got it.
Yeah. They're like, I don't really want any of these, but maybe
no Charizards.
Right. Yeah. I know. So the real gems are potentially still in there, and then the Haunt 1 are like the super OG portals, if that makes sense, and the floor for those is just a little bit higher because they're part of that original 10,000 collection.
Hey, I have a question in chat that I also want to relay to the forge mechanic that you guys started. It says gotchis are also deflationary due to sacrificing. Did that happen with Essence in this forge release?
It does. You're such an expert on all things Aavegotchi. You already know. Call me out on this.
Small brain.
Right. So one of the cool things about the forge is we created, like Alloy is tokenization of all the wearables, right? But Essence is a new token. It's technically a ERC 1155, but this is tokenization of the entire gotchi market. So you can sacrifice your gotchi, you can burn it, and in exchange for that, you will get essence. All gotchis are equal. They give you 1,000 essence, and that essence can be used as an ingredient for things, including if you want to forge a new pet, you need some essence, because essence is what is all of the life force in this world, this universe that we have. So if you're going to bring a pet to life, you need some life token to do it. So people are going to have to burn their gotchis to bring new pets to life. And burning gotchis obviously will decrease supply, and that's the deflationary aspect they're talking about. And one of the really fun economic things I enjoy about this design, both for Alloy and Essence, is it targets floor wearables and floor gotchis, because those are going to be the ones that are purchased and burnt for their underlying component. So developing mechanics that intentionally support the floor are going to bring up the entire ecosystem, and we all know how important floors are in the NFT marketplace.
Okay, so we are staring over the complexity chasm right now. Me and Gifted are walking on this bridge, and then Soju's in here saying, "Do we even factor in land?" I can't remember. So this is where we're getting to that point where it's starting to be a lot. You know what I mean? So
we're past the point that it's a lot, but at least having somebody who deeply understands it, explaining it really helps.
Yeah. I'm a huge PvP gamer. I love ruining somebody's day in World of Warcraft. I'm a big League of Legends player. I play games for PvP. So can you mention very briefly the land as well as like the liquidator? I remember like players could be liquidators and like kill gotchis or like send them back. I wouldn't say kill gotchis. Sorry, folks, but you know what I mean. PvP aspect, is that coming soon?
Yep. And I can totally relate with where you're coming from. I'm a support main in League of Legends for a super long time. So
nice.
Love me some League with all its toxicity and everything.
What about Rocket League though? What about the real league?
Yeah, but I'm a Plat 3 low diamond Rocket League doubles player.
Let's
so if you ever
what's your rank in League?
Let's do it.
He just said, "Oh, League of Legends."
No, I'm like gold at best. I'm trash at League, and I'm okay with it.
Okay.
But anyways, where's PvP at, right? Because ranking is fun, right? Like that's the kind of product we need to be good. Is like have a fun PvP environment, be able to rank up, flex those leaderboards, and then create that stickiness, and then these skins will start making sense, right? Schematics are essentially skins. Like that's where we can see those like come on board and have like unique schematics dropped to the leaderboard winners, and those are going to have value. And that's kind of the value we're talking about funneling to players. And PvP Arena is coming, Coder Dan said, by end of month by ETH Denver, so we could have an arcade table set up so people can do PvP. So that is like 2 weeks away. I'm hoping that is the case, but we've done like multiple play tests, multiple iterations so far. So it's really close to having meaningful arena play come in. Like, by close, I mean like weeks to months, not that months to years time frame. That is frustrating for everybody to be in. So soon.
Yeah, we gotta get a demo of that at Web3 Denver at one of our spaces. That would be freaking dope. And yeah, shout out any Rocket League players. Hit me up, Xbox Live at Gifted. You already know, Gifted everywhere.
If you want to lose
definitely
LP.
down to play. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Okay, here's one of my sort of chief concerns about the complexity chasm and projects that seem to be very complicated like this. I like, as much as I love games, clearly I love games. That's why I'm here. It's why I want to learn and like know about all these cool things that it's doing. But I don't spend all day every day online in MMORPGs doing this type of stuff. And you know, it's kind of like Discord, right? I feel like we've really gotten to a point where there was a fatigue and sort of a pushback, and a lot of people now are just like anti-Discord. It's like I don't want to be in Discord all day. I hate it. And so what's the point? The point is that I want to be a little bit more passive and still feel like I'm getting the value, right? So it's like, for me coming in as somebody who I don't want to be spending time every day. I want to be able to check in, you know, like maybe once a week or every couple of weeks and participate as I want to, but still not feel like I'm missing out on all the value that's being generated. Like how can I participate in that way and not feel like I'm still on the outside, even after investing, and just not putting in enough time as like the hardcore users?
Yep, absolutely. That's such an important question. And it's a little bit helpful to frame like this complexity we're talking about as like getting the back end stuff done, right? Because if we're going to have a game that's going to have value in it, you need to have like healthy economic systems set up to do that. So I think most people are never going to interact with like this blog post, right? They're just going to like play the game and like find stuff and like level stuff up, and they won't understand all the mechanics that made it possible, that let them accrue value. As far as like right now, if we can, am I still sharing my screen? No, yeah, if you can go to my screen real fast. So one of the tools that I helped create was called the Gotchi Vault. And so what the Gotchi Vault does is it allows you to do exactly what you're talking about and be passive. So there's 2,500 gotchis that have been like deposited in the vault, and basically like we at the vault take care of them for you. Like we pet them. There's like channeling. There's stuff you can do on your land that creates value, and you probably don't want to like log in to do that every day, right? But you still like the idea of capturing that value. So we do that for you at the Gotchi Vault, and then we keep 5% of that value. So like what you would do is you would be here at the vault. You would say, I'm going to put this gotchi in the vault, and then I'll just like let them take care of it. And then you sign that transaction, and then I have put a gotchi in the vault, and then we will take care of it for you at the vault. And taking care of it means like we pet it, like we channel it, and then we send you like the money that your little guy earned.
Does the vault get custody there?
Yep, this is a custodial solution. So that's one of the downsides of it. But I think that's like if we're I mean, that's how it goes. Like using Pixelcraft's, like they developed the lending contracts, and like we match you with a borrower from the community that will borrow, and like they'll pay you to borrow it, and then we send you the money or the split of what they earn while they're playing. So that's one way to be passive. And then similarly, from like the Ghost token perspective, there's some like value in the ecosystem by what you do with Ghost. If you provide liquidity, you can get glitter, and like glitter has value. But
wait, there's another, hold up. There's another currency called glitter.
Right.
No.
Gifts down the whole rabbit. No, gifts fell into the chasm.
But basically, so we hold like 2.1 million Ghost, so like around $2.4 million worth of the Ghost token, and then like manage it for you, and like sell that glitter for Ghost to help accrue value. And over the last year, like we've improved, like 1 V Ghost equals 1.03 Ghost, so we have a like 3% return for Ghost holders that let us manage them for them. So it's the biggest tool in Aavegotchi, or that the community has built to help abstract away some of that complexity, so you can still have some exposure, you can still like earn a little bit, but you don't have to do and learn about all the stuff you talked about, because it's too much, and it's a big barrier for entry. So just knowing that tools exist to still help you capture that value is helpful, and also makes me bullish on the community that things like this can be built to abstract away complexity, and to just help you kind of own a market share of the game without having to do much with it.
Gif, I want to give you one last shot here of the Gotchiverse and the Liquidators. So these are the Gotchi. Oh, I don't know exactly what that character was that just left the castle, but there's the Liquidators. This is the PvP aspect that's going to exist in the game.
Wow,
I'm excited for all that's coming with Aavegotchi, and I think with that we'll kind of like round out the Gotchi discussion, and we appreciate you coming on here today and discussing all that stuff and getting us across that chasm. So any last thoughts on Gotchi, and then Gif, last question?
Well, I have a segue that might help us, kind of move into other territory that's still relevant. And that's that I'm curious, what your thoughts on Tezos are, because we did a deep dive on Tez last week with a big brain on over there, and he's talking about how Tezos has a native L2. And I hadn't ever really heard or thought about, what is native versus not native L2. And so I guess Polygon is not a native L2. That's why you have to bridge, etc. But he mentioned that apparently ETH is working on a native L2. And I'm curious if this is something you're aware of, and how this would impact your development. Like, doesn't this, if ETH was to roll out a native L2, wouldn't this create a conundrum or a lot of dev issues, or needing to port or change stuff? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm just curious what you think about all that.
Yeah, I think we'll see quite a few zero knowledge or layer 2 solutions come out. There's going to be the native ones on Ethereum, like you're talking about, and then there's the non-native ones, like Polygon is working on. So we're really committed to the Polygon ecosystem. We'll be moving over to a Polygon Supernet, which is going to be like our dedicated Gotchi chain, where all the Gotchi games, the ones we've showed you and the other ones that the community are developing, are going to run on that chain. It's going to reduce fees, instant like finality, like a lot better user experience. And the way it would work is Gotchi chain relies on Polygon, relies on Ethereum, and it's all Ethereum virtual machine. So there won't be a change.
Would that be an L3?
No, I don't know if I'm like smart enough to know what it should be called, but it's called a supernet, and like that's what like those dedicated chains are going to be. And we're still going to use like a Polygon validator. But short answer to your question is, like, we're committed to Polygon and their scaling solutions, and we've been announced as the project. I think we're the only project that's been announced that's receiving a supernet, and there's a reason that Sandeep is hyping us, because they're investing a lot in that solution as a competitor for like Tezos or Avalanche, who are trying to like that product market fit to like one project that needs their own chain, but they still want like the back end security. And we have that locked down with Polygon, and we're pretty excited about it.
Dr. Wagme, any last thoughts or last info you want to get out related to Aavegotchi before we move into the rest of the episode?
Yeah, I think like takeaways, like two things. Like there's a lot of hype around it. You can just like get a gotchi, and like that limited the PFP experience is a lot. That's some fun exposure to learn about the community, and it's a great first step in learning about all the depth that exists. Just knowing that there is stuff to do, that there is more going on, makes it fun to be a part of. And then number two is the bonding curve's coming off. And with the bonding curve coming off and huge Polygon support and capped token supply and $20 million of firepower in our treasury to support the ecosystem, it's a really exciting time to be a Ghost holder and Aavegotchi asset holder. So get excited. It's going to be a really fun couple months for Aavegotchi.
Some nice alfalfa there for y'all in the second piece. Gif, any last thoughts on Aavegotchi before we get on with the rest of the episode?
Yeah, no, I think the doctor summed up a lot of the alpha there, but the other thing is I think the vault, the Gotchi vault is alpha for people like me that don't want to be, petting every day or, feeling like you're tied to it to still extract value from your ghost. So that's cool. Yeah, knowing that exists and also that it's community driven. I think that's pretty dope.
One thing I'd love to see from Aavegotchi is like a emphasis on maybe interoperability with other games within maybe Polygon. Like I'm a Bored Ape holder. It would have been dope to see Aavegotchi in the trailers for the other side. Like things like this that are related to maybe other games and business development could probably help the platform. But I'm the small brain here. I'm just looking in from the outside. So you guys are doing a great job.
You're right, and a couple members of our community, the Gotchi Farmy, they are building a sandbox experience for like this summer's like big sandbox. I think they do seasons, and Aavegotchi will be like one of the projects that have a game on sandbox this summer. So that's exciting. This is community driven. Like this wasn't pixel craft. This is like other people saying like we got to be on sandbox. Let's build a game and let's make it fun. We're gonna be showing up there this summer too, and just one more reason to be excited.
Okay. All right. We are getting to our quick news portion of today's episode. If you just tuned in, we just sat here with Dr. Wagme and went over the Aavegotchi ecosystem for about the last hour. So hop out whenever. Don't feel like you need to be here discussing DGen life and NFTs for us.
I might hop out. I got a 3-month-old at home. I'm neglecting. Okay. I got to go give some love too. But shout out anytime. Happy to do this again and really appreciate you guys and the work you're doing here.
All right, man.
Yeah, man. Big love. See you in Denver.
Let's do it. Yeah. Marijuana Mansion, here we come, right?
Yes, sir. Right,
let's go.
See you guys.
All right, later. All right, I'm just gonna play it because I don't feel like running into this. I'm just gonna play it.
Digital collectible. Scan now.
All right. The NFT ad of the century just came out.
6.5 mil. 6.5 mil.
That's what 6.5 mil gets you these days.
Yeah.
Yay. All right, that was the DigiDaigaku NFT Super Bowl ad that everyone was hotly anticipating, and I missed it. Honestly, like I turned to my computer at the time I was doing something else, and I started to see things come up on Twitter saying the QR code's not working, all this stuff. I'm like, what QR code? And I just completely missed it live, went back and watched it. I'd give it a 3 out of 10. That's where I'm tentatively placing my score. Yeah. It's cool to see the NFTs in the Super Bowl. Just feel like, and there's a lot of fallout from this too with where that QR code led. But Gif, what is your take here on DigiDaigaku?
There's a couple different controversies around this, besides the fact that that's what 6.5 mil gets you. And the expectation was high because Apparently, Gabe Layden, who is one of the co-founders of Limit Break and a famous mobile game developer, has had tremendous success. Apparently, he has a history of doing big Super Bowl ads that are very memorable and like very special. So I think a lot of people had much higher expectations. So there's that part of it. I don't disagree. I think 3 out of 10 is a fair ranking or assessment of how interesting or cool this was. All right, the other controversy is the execution of like how this mechanic with the mint and the actual QR code whitelist allow list worked, because one of the biggest issues was that apparently they tweeted out the commercial. Apparently they tweeted out the commercial before it actually aired. So if you were on their Twitter, you might have had a head start. So that's a whole dumb thing that might have happened, is that they basically like cheated they like defeated the whole purpose of the Super Bowl spend at that point, except for maybe getting some new followers on the Twitters for Sir Gabriel Layden. So the other controversial part, besides the fact that their Twitter may have front run their own Super Bowl ad, is that basically because it filled up so quickly, I think that's why it started redirecting. Because again, you've got millions of people watching this thing, probably trying to get on this allow list and scanning it, and there was only about 5,000 assets that were actually available to mint because they airdropped the other 5,000. It's a 10K collection of dragon eggs that will hatch, I guess, and evolve, which I'm actually pretty excited about. I've got a whole history I could talk about, like my interest there, but. There was only about 5,000 to mint. And so obviously that was going to go tremendously fast. But I think again, it got front ran on their Twitter, was probably minted out or claimed very quickly, that filled up very quickly. And then I think it just started redirecting people to Gabe's Twitter page, which,
which is the worst part about the whole thing for me.
Well,
it just looks very Bush League. I mean, this is a like retweet. Retweet this tweet, like and follow me.
Yeah, but come on, this is literally where we're at in the world. I think it's an interesting indicator. No, it's an interesting indicator of how social media audience clout and attention is like the most valuable thing, where literally people are renting out $6.5 million Super Bowl ads just to pump their Twitters. I think that's
like that argument.
Sign. It's an interesting sign of where we're going. And look, say what you want about it being obnoxious. It is fucking obnoxious. But
trashy. It's trashy.
But he might also be ahead of the curve on this and understanding how important it is to have your own distribution channels through a platform like Twitter, right? It's like, look at the success that look at what Gary Vee's been able to do. Look at some of these other influencers, what they're able to do with having a big audience. Because he can not only now use that for this one game, but I'm sure that they're going to develop more games under Limit Break, and he can now remarket to his same audience over and over. So this value of 6.5 mil that we're all like, oh, that's really expensive. If he can monetize that through multiple games over the next 10 to 20 years of his business career, it could be worth way more than that. And I think that's, again, the math that they're doing there. Because look, it got him over 1 million followers on Twitter. It did something. Yeah. And also, look, to give credit where it's due, besides the fact that, despite being obnoxious, it might be a smart move to build an audience for their leaders that way. The mint, despite having tremendous demand and a lot of people trying to mint all at the same time, it went very smoothly. So the tech side of the actual mint was executed well, didn't have a big gas war. And you know what? The floor has been holding around 0.3. I
can't argue with the floor, I guess.
Full transparency. I bought 2 of these last night. I should have waited a little bit longer because it's dipped. I got in around 0.32 or something like that. But I'm excited to see these things evolve. Like, again, I'll share this briefly, anecdotally. The first project that I started developing, and actually we spent months developing this. Like, we actually got into it. We were creating concept art for a bunch of different dragons that were all from different parts of a planet. We had a whole map of the world in the game, and each of them were resembling different chains that had different characteristics. So we're literally developing like polka dot dragon characters that were like super dope, and Polygon dragon and ETH dragons, and they were going to evolve. They had 3 different tiers of dragons, from baby dragons to like, to like teenager drag. I forget what we call them, but to like crazy, big dragons. And so literally the first game, it was going to be called Crypto Kingdoms. And we actually started marketing and talking about it in Clubhouse as we were developing it. And we just didn't have the resources that a limit break does to actually develop a whole game. And so, when we discovered Sketchnate and started developing DBs, that kind of became our focus, because, then it was just like, okay, how do we scale a PFP that has a couple different simple mechanics, not trying to develop this whole game without having a bunch of resources. So, it simultaneously makes me sad and hurts my heart that we were working on an idea similar to this over 2 years ago and we just couldn't pull it off. But then it's also, I think it's cool to see somebody doing it with super high quality assets that, has the resources to buy a fucking Super Bowl ad. So I'm excited to have these eggs, watch them evolve into fucking dragons and see where that goes. I don't know. I think it's cool on that front.
There's some other projects I think that went the dragon route. I forgot which project we had on the channel back when NFTs were first launching that did like the evolution there. People just like seeing dragons evolve, man. I see that. Mike,
it was literally one of the first insights that we had as Nifty Castle was like, people fucking love dragons. Like, and we were right.
Just a strong take.
Dragons are globally, dragons are a phenomenon. They're not even real creatures, and yet there's multiple different kinds of dragons around the world from these cultures.
It's taking in like to affect like China's thoughts on dragons as well. Like,
it's a fascinating thing. Dragons are a global dope
phenomenon. All right, real quick, you're taking me down a rabbit hole there, because you're right. Like, now that you say that out loud, it's like the medieval culture and seeing dragons in that culture and Chinese culture, like that's wild. Anyways, so VGF was in the GM Web3 morning show this morning. I'm glad he was, because he brought up the last time that this founder had a Super Bowl ad. And again, going back to the ad that we saw yesterday, it's not that it wasn't like cool for the space, although you could make an argument probably that people look at this and they're like, oh, NFTs, although NFTs weren't plastered everywhere. It's like, this is not the experience we want people to have with NFTs. Here's the last event, and I remember it now very clearly. This was the last ad that this guy threw out, which was the Kate Upton. This isn't going to have volume, but this was the Kate Upton ad. I remember this ad. So it's like, okay, the ad that was placed for DigiDaigaku is nowhere near as memorable as the one that they put out, and they already saw success with this one. So this was like another mobile game that again had Kate Upton as like the face of the ad, and like, hey, just kind of recreate that and you would have done okay. Sex sells. You're selling a fucking mobile game. I'm not going to remember this ad other than the fact that it was actually just not memorable at all. Like, it was so not memorable that we're talking about it. It's very like Yeti-esque.
But we are talking about it, so I don't know.
We're talking about it 24 hours afterwards. That was another
attention. Yeah, well, it's interesting. I don't remember seeing that one, and maybe I missed it. But apparently, yeah, a lot of people remember that, and I can see why. She's looking good in that. I have to say, she's looking pretty nice in that ad.
Here's the thing. People are always saying, like, it's so hard to make a Super Bowl ad. It's really not. Like, Bradley Cooper and his mom in the T-Mobile commercial were just talking and laughing. It was a good commercial. That is animals, just Kate Upton. Yeah.
Yeah, cute animals, humor, and then sex. It's like one of those 3 things. If you just hit one of those or all 3, you're gold. They didn't really hit any of those, did they?
No, it was like a weird cartoon. Like, I don't know, man. I don't want to get. I have some biases as it relates to like mobile games. Mobile games like come off as very shitty to me.
But this is why. But this is, I guess the thesis for why I bought in, right? Is that you have these very successful devs that have the history of execution, have the team and resources to execute on a big vision. Which it seems like they have been and they are, and there's probably a game coming in the not distant future, probably within a couple months. I was in some rooms last night. There's a very strong cult following already for DigiDaigaku, especially among the Genesis holders. That floor is like over 9 ETH. and they've got several other successful collections already. But the thesis here is like they've been working on this for over a year, like a year and a half. It usually takes roughly 2-ish years to develop a really good game. So people are anticipating that within the next 3 to 6 months, that there will be a game ready. If they've been working on it for well over a year, maybe up to a year and a half by now. Mm-hmm. That's the thesis here, is that there is a game not too far around the corner, and that all of these assets will, yeah. But, and it likely will be some kind of mobile game, probably, again, given their history and background. And again, whether or not you like the actual interaction or mechanics of mobile games, whether the gameplay itself is fun to you, you can't deny the mass appeal and success of mobile games in general. Like, when a lot of times when people look at the gaming industry as a whole and they see tremendous numbers of, billions and billions of dollars every year being spent, the majority of that is on mobile games. It's your mom, your aunt, your sister, playing The Sims on their phone or some shit like that, or Candy Crush or one of those, right? Like that's actually
accessible.
Angry Birds, shit like that is actually where EA and Ubisoft and a lot of these big publishers, those are their cash cows.
And they're even moving their traditional games. Like Diablo was moved. Diablo 3 was essentially, to the chagrin of all the like Diablo players that have played it throughout the years, moving more mobile. They were like, this is a mobile release, because that's where all the players are.
Yeah, because to spend, years and tens of millions of dollars creating a high quality PC game only to see it flop, when you could create this, live service mobile game within a shorter time period and support it more easily, when people are just fucking like on their phones all day, every day, fucking spending money there, like it makes sense, So I think that, like, whether or not this felt trashy or you don't like it personally, I kind of think that the guy has a plan and he's probably going to have some success. So I guess that's my thesis. I'm excited to hopefully see like a AAA mobile game developer do something next level, and that, I could have some fucking cool dragons maybe that are part of that.
Just give his dragons.
Let me see the dragons. Wait, right. I'm gonna pull them up. I'm gonna share my screen and share my eggs.
Yeah, share it. While GIF is pulling that up, I'm gonna get to the comments because we didn't really touch on them while we were touching on this topic. Mike Erlinson saying the real rage commercial was the Tubi TV. There was a commercial that basically was like faking that you were going into your smart TV app, and that freaked everybody out. Everyone's like, what the hell? Who's sitting on the remote? So yes, I agree with that. Jax Hideaway saying, I like the production value. NFT Cutie saying, but why has Gabriel Layden blocked me? Mike Erlinson's also saying money could have been spent so much better through sponsorships and branding. I agree.
This is the mystery that we got to figure out. We got to somebody, everybody go tag Gabe on the NFT Live tweet. Or like the show. Can we tag the Twitter stream like in the chat? Everybody go tag Gabe Layden and say, hey Gabe, come on and explain yourself. Why did you block NFT Cutie? We need to get to the bottom of this. We need to know what Gabe has against NFT Cutie. This is important.
Also to cap off this point, like, how cool would it have been if it was just like an amazing fucking amazing ad? Like, just blew you away in whatever type of way they went about it. They could have taken it in many different directions. Could have been cartoon, could have been real life, could have been 3D animated. How amazing would it have been to have like just top 5 ad and everyone's talking about it just being awesome and it's related to NFTs. Instead, we're sitting here talking about how like maybe he had a vision for it and all this stuff.
It's more like cheesy fucking clout chasing and like shitty, not great, like not transparent, sort of hyping up something that it wasn't. But misaligned expectations, bad communication. It's all the issues.
It's like you said this morning though, the expectations. If you have low expectations, you can never be let down.
Secret to happiness in life. All right. Yeah. Speaking of maybe setting my expectations too high. All right. This is one of my eggs looking pretty badass in here. Look, he's moving. He's alive. He's in there. And this is a sky dragon egg. So I got one sky. There's 10 different kinds. So they're, distributed evenly right now, 1,000 of each kind. So this is my sky egg. And then my other one, I'm maybe even more excited about.
Ooh, that one looks dope. It's got a little.
Yeah. Guess what kind do you think it is? If you had to guess what that is.
That's a s'more dragon.
Ooh, close, close. Yeah, that's an Astro Dragon. But it does kind of look like a s'more as well. But yeah, so I guess this is astral or from outer space, something
Looks like a
like that.
marshmallow that you burned too much on one side.
Yeah, that then got infected with gangrene. I'm gonna eat it either way. Yo, but I'm excited to see what my dragons turn into. And there you go. Those are my 2 eggs.
I had no
I
idea.
probably paid too much for already. Everyone this morning was shitting on me in GM Web3. I was like, "What do y'all think? Did I do good? What do you think? Are they cool?
Silent.
Are you getting in?" Everybody's like, no comment. No, bad move." Jeez.
Jack Hideaway probably with the best comment. Problem with this ad is that it was so hardcore offer driven instead of being concept driven. I like that. I like that summary there. Pretty good. All right, we are going to get to the end of the episode here. We've gone for about an hour 35. No Biggie Poppins today, so we're gonna try to leave it light on time. I don't know. I feel like the ratio of talkage, even if we stop it right now, is the same because we didn't have that third, fourth.
Here's what I'd love to go out with is talking about ETH Denver one more time and showing if we can actually go to the website, go to w3b3.life and scroll through that real quick and show the giveaway. And then I also want to watch the video recap from ETH Denver last year because I think it's dope.
I love that. I love it. Before we do, I did want to give one look at the markets because it is Monday. This is the past 24 hours. I don't think we hit
NFTGO Bag Check.
Bag check. Units or units? How do you even say this? This is the top.
Yes. This is what Snapsid was sharing this morning. Didn't look at it yet. Let's look at it real quick.
Okay, so DigiDaigaku Dragon Eggs and it looks like checks still taking the top spot. That's an interesting one because you do own checks. You were asking like what's the potential floor price where people are like interested in getting in on checks, it being one of the first major open editions. But yeah, I don't know anything about you. I don't even know how to say it. Yunts. It's gonna be something real easy. I'm gonna be look dumb up here. 40,000. Jesus. See 7-day chart there. It launched on the 12th. It's yesterday. Numbers are art, and we are artists.
They're flying right now. This is a momentum play. I might just buy. God damn it!
What's going on here?
Yeah, why are these things flying right now? Numbers are art, and we are artists. Okay.
Mints ended. No alfalfa here. Okay,
dude, these things are flying right now, though, bro. Like this is a momentum play. This is like, look. All right, we got to do our thing, Q. We got to do this real quick.
Okay, yeah, do it.
You know what it is, y'all. This is important for us to say. This is not financial advice, and information was found publicly on the interwebs. Opinions are shared on this episode are solely of the Web3 team. All information is public domain. Please DYOR or do your own research. Yeah, this is a momentum play. If you're looking at that chart right now, like I am, I'm thinking I might just buy one just to see if I can flip it. I have no idea why though. Like I don't know. This seems like just another one that people are hyping up. Like what? It's a fucking number on a black background.
Oof. I'm trying to figure this out. Apparently it is just the numbers, but numbers are art.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good luck with that one. If anyone has any more information on Uints, please let us know. Otherwise, do not buy this shit or do. We don't care. Jack Hideaway saying terrible. Hazi Hazhaga just joined. The answer is Utes, obviously.
All right.
The question
I don't know what the question is. Yeah, but all right.
All right. I'm not buying any Uints. Good luck to those that are, but I do want to get real quick, show a little bit about the collections that are popping off right now. DigiDaigaku eggs again, sitting at 0.26. checks are doing a little bit of volume. Market overview is hurting right now, man. I mean, the overall crypto market is pulling back a little bit. We saw an amazing January. We're kind of cooling off here. Yeah, a little bit of a correction, but sometimes that's needed. I'm zooming out to 30 days here. You can see again, middle of January, we were flying high against ETH right now. Even these blue chips are not doing that well. USD the same. We saw a huge drop off here in the last 3 or 4 days. We go to market cap and volume. Looks like market cap is falling against USD. Let's see where this is linked. Yeah, not too strong here over the past 30 days. We've kind of fallen off a cliff. A lot of open edition action in that month. Maybe that's what led to the volume. It feels like we're cooling off on that.
And also, this is what worries me too about the whole wash trading thing. There was like $345 million of wash trading just in the last month. It's just like, okay, where's their clarity on like what the fuck is actually happening? Which collections are creating this? Who's doing this? Why can't we get more transparency from the marketplaces on what the fuck is actually happening? Again, I shout out NFTGO because at least they're trying to start implementing some kind of filtering. But like, are these visualized value projects with the checks and shit? Is that all wash trading? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, but I feel like
you could do it easier. You could do it easier with open editions. That's the main thing. You can. Depending on the amount of supply, you could definitely move those obviously quicker. That was the whole idea, right? Like you had a lower entry point for people. That's also a lower entry point to wash trade items.
Yeah,
it really is.
And this is the problem is that people are trying to be like, oh, well, you need liquidity. Yeah, no, I get why people do it. That's not the issue. The issue is that people are passing it off like it's real volume to FOMO people in, and there is the ability to provide transparency to collectors, and marketplaces are not providing that. This is the issue. It's not that it's happening. I would be okay with people doing it if we had a bot score or some way to acknowledge, hey, 20% of this collection's volume is wash trading, 10% is wash trading, 80% of this collection's volume is wash trading. Look out, buy in at your own fucking risk. You know what I mean? But like,
this market making has gone on since. Yeah, we do have to clarify. I think we do a good job of like, as we talk more about specific processes that are, taking over the NFT space or are at least involved, we clean up our verbiage and make sure that like we can even like start to, I think over the last month, we've even kind of coined some terms, the guy sitting up here, but it's definitely market making. I wouldn't necessarily say it's wash trading. It's like definitely market making to go to a founder and say, hey, I'm going to buy and sell your NFTs on the secondary market to increase the interest in your project. I'm going to provide liquidity to do that. That is literally what a market maker does. And that has probably gone on as long as markets have existed. There was like a dude in Babylon who was like, hey, come and buy my pots so that people think the pots are really dope, and then the pots are going to sell, and it's all this stuff. Like this is a process that will continue to go on. Although to Mo's point this morning, the blockchain offers maybe an ability, if we have the right tools that you're mentioning, that these data that like an OpenSea or a Blur should show. We have the ability to maybe stop that now because it's transparent.
Well, I don't think, again, I'm not even trying to stop it as much as not pretend that it's like not there and tricking consumers into buying things that they like, that's something else. Like if you're watching something because all of these marketplaces are like, look at all that volume, look at the volume. Holy shit, there's so much volume on this project. OpenSea, blah, blah, blah. Top 10 volume. That's all it is. Volume, volume, volume. Trying to get you to buy shit. But none of them will give you the actual like honest truth about like, hey, just so you know, 15% of this volume that we're selling you right now is also being done between two wallets.
Let's talk about Amazon reviews. Let's talk about Yelp reviews. Like these are all things that are just botted to hell. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so to your point, it's always going to be an issue, but the technology to provide better tools exists. And I think it's really irresponsible and bad for the space to not be helping consumers and being more transparent. So
So here's something that GIF is talking about right here. This should be turned on by default, is what you're saying. This tool right here should be turned on as default, because what you see here is X2, Y2, and looks are just going to blow off this list.
Yeah.
So X2, Y2, yeah, exactly. Same thing over here. So, yeah.
Yeah, I just think by default these tools should be available, and it should be very, very clear, and we shouldn't have to like fight and argue and try and like scrounge around to figure out what's going on. Again, it's the marketplace can do it anyway.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
we're going to talk a lot more about that. Yeah.
Let's talk about dragons.
But like really, I would really love to know like how much of this open edition meta with these visualized value checks and the OPEPN editions and all these different things, like how much of that is just fake volume. And you know, Q, I know what you're like. Yes, it's market making to be providing this stuff, but it's also literally the definition of wash trading, to be buying and selling at progressively higher prices between a couple different wallets. That is wash trading. And to your point, it's always happened. Like literally the entire traditional fine art market like has been doing this since the dawn of time, like you said. So I understand it has value and it does things. Liquidity is good.
Necessarily is valuable. It is definitely valuable. I'm not saying that it needs to be valuable. What I'm trying to say is that the process existed in literally people's jobs. Like they'd have their shit on LinkedIn. Like we're a market making book. Like this is what we fucking do, you know? So it's always kind of been this pervasive thing in finance.
I wanted to ask, this is a weird tangent. I wanted to ask Dr. Wagme, that's his name, right? Dr. Wagme. I wanted to ask him if there was arbitrage opportunities with the alloys, or if it's basically like it's always the same amount for these items, or if you like smelt things down and then rebuild them. I don't know. I'm curious about Aavegotchi. I'm going to be maybe getting a ghost here soon.
I guess with an arbitrage opportunity, you need to be able to. I don't want to get down that. I don't want to go down that list. Like you need to have two markets essentially for an arbitrage opportunity. You need to be able to buy on one market for cheaper and then sell it on another. But I mean, smarter financial peeps in me in chat.
They've got multiple markets. They've got glitter, they've got alloy, they've got ghost, and there's Polygon Matic. There's like 4 different fucking markets, dude. It's wild how complicated these things are getting, man.
Asma is making a good point. We talked about this in open editions, that there was going to be this like exhaustion from open editions. Like it was a very easy thing. Kane Mayfield actually, in his Caney way, was talking about how it's just kind of like NFTs for El Poros. Like that's kind of like how he sold it, was like I can get an X multiple on a thing for $10 instead of buying it for $1,000. And now I can participate in a 10x gain, and that's like the FOMO that this increased.
Yeah, or it's also just a way to collect an artist that you love and get a poster or a print as an NFT that's not super prohibitive to get in, right? There's a couple of reasons why they're useful, and then there's the interesting game mechanic of it that people want to follow along, and so no, I think again, open editions are going to be around for a long time. It's just that initial hype cycle is dying off. And again, there's only so much liquidity. Like people, FOMO'd into a bunch of different shit, and now they're sitting there looking at their bags like, okay, well, I got a bag full of open editions now.
Yeah. And to your point, you better like the fucking artist that you collected from. Yeah. So I love this comment from Asmai saying space makes no sense. Project with no real utility long-term on top. Projects with long-term utility and no one is biting. I mean, that's the point I was trying to make to Dr. Wagner. It's like Aavegotchi's doing so much shit, just doing so much, and only the projects that are, based on FOMO and hype are getting featured in this market.
It's momentum. But again, this is why these marketplaces, and also, what's really exciting? Actually, quick update. Tomorrow on the show, Nifty Q, who do we have coming on NFT Live?
I don't know. Who do we have?
Is it but is Biggie, is it just us two right now?
It might be. I don't know how long Biggie's out.
Because we're also going to have Jared from NFTGO coming on the show. They are dropping their annual report. and I'm very excited. We actually get a sneak peek. NiftyQ, I forwarded to you. We got it first, and we are going to be talking through the NFTGO annual report that they've been working very hard on. We have it first for you tomorrow. To your email. So, we can look through it and be ready with some questions because yes, this is a big report. As y'all know, we love NFTGO. They do free insights. They put a lot of work into putting together these insights and reports, and they have an annual report dropping on Web3 Network with us tomorrow. Shout out Jared from NFTGO, and I believe Dan Tranimal might also be joining, GM Web3. But I'm excited to see how that's playing out, because I think that these reports, these platforms like DappRadar, like NFTGO, and then the marketplaces, they need to start doing a better job about covering projects and more than just fucking volume, because like that's why a lot of the wash trading exists in the first place without the transparency. That's why a lot of these behaviors exist, is because so much of everything just revolves around fucking volume all the time. And really, if we were serious about the space, about builders, about good projects, we would be expanding our focus to more than just volume. So anyway, I'm excited to see that, and hopefully they've built in some more editorial thinking into their annual report. Who knows? We're going to find out. But I'm very excited to be the first to be breaking the NFTGO annual report.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that. Marty McFly is here saying, yo. So actually, that's our cue to get the hell out of here. So Web3 Denver. Not the one last announcement, but one last announcement here on today's episode about the event that we're putting on, the dual event, I should say, that we're putting on at ETH Denver. What's going on, Gif?
Two different locations. First time we've ever had two locations across the full week. We have the Web3 Lounge at the Marijuana Mansion for 5 days, and the Web3 Academy at this badass psychedelic gallery called Ant Life that's right near the main conference area. February 28th to March 4th, that whole week. And there's two different ways to get your access. You can either get tickets through Eventbrite, or we do have NFTs. So you can mint an access pass as an NFT. There's single day passes for the low price of $30. And then you can get your multi-day full week pass for just $69. You heard me right. $69 for both passes get you into both locations. And for the full week, you can get into both locations. So, and if you scroll down right here to the bottom of the website.
I'm not scrolling down.
Scroll it. Do it.
I'm not.
Do it. All right, we are doing a big giveaway right now, kicking all this off today, w3b3.life. Yo, that is where it's at. If you scroll down and you see where it says Web3 Denver VIP giveaway, we are giving away 5 full week multi-pass NFTs and a rare Chungo. That's right, a rare Chungo. And part of the reason it had to be a rare Chungo that we're giving away is because, and I'm very excited to say this one more time, we are doing a Chungo Mansion party in Denver. I got in touch with the founders. It's happening. It's a real thing. This isn't a joke. There's going to be a fucking Chungo Mansion party at the Marijuana Mansion. It's going to be lit. It's either, and we're already down to 2 days. It's either going to be Tuesday, February 28th or Wednesday, March 1st. So we're circling off those 2 days. Chungo Mansion party, ETH Denver at the Marijuana Mansion.
Listen, I dropped both links to the events here in chat. So if you want to check the Eventbrite out, if you want to check the other, what's the other one? Just the website? Oh, the NFT page. You can check out more information there. I'll also drop the web3.life website. So definitely check that out. Help support the network, man. Like GiftEd's putting in major work. Phil's putting in major work on this. It would be very much appreciated if you guys could support us. We should figure out how people could support us if they're not going to ETH Denver. I'd love to figure that, because I know a lot of people
sharing it.
Yeah.
Right now, doing the giveaway, sharing it out. That giveaway again has like social benefits. So if you share it, you get more entries to win the different things. But just sharing it, tagging your friends who are going to Denver, or if you got friends in Denver or people who want to go to Denver, tag them on. We just posted the flyer to the Web3 Twitter. You can see some of the amazing artists and projects that are all going to be featured. These events that we do really are by the community for the community. And, you know, there are a lot of work, to Q's point, where we've been already losing a lot of sleep pulling this together. And but they always work out amazing. Like, we have a history now from the Nifty Castle and even Web3 at the Web3 Lounge in NFT NYC of doing amazing community events. The vibes are always right, and yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be the spot. Especially, dude, the MJ Mansion after hours, like after the conference wraps up, that's gonna be the fucking hang. Like, for the happy hours, for the evening time, this place is dope. Jeff Jag went and took a bunch of photos and videos that we'll be sharing more of. It's pretty epic. It's gonna be a party.
All right, I shared out the link. I still have no idea what the Chungo party is going to be about. The instant you told me that there was going to be a Chungo party, I just went back to the Goblins. God damn it.
Goblin Town?
Goblin Town, and those actors that were like mummering gibberish.
We don't have to hire actors. There's going to be a bunch of Chungos saying Chungo.
2 actors.
Should hire the same ones? Yo, somebody
the
get me their
redemption arc.
agent. Get us their agent.
The redemption arc. Okay, well, you're sitting almost at 2 hours, so we have to get up out of here. The last couple comments that we want to hit on, I think there were some good ones. Quantum Variant, it's nice to see you, man. Our Vibe, our tribe. Alpha TA was saying, can we talk about the CNN hit piece on the Bored Ape Yacht Club? And then Hazy was coming through. I think the question was towards the question on the thumbnail. What's the best project on Solana? And Hazy was saying Utes. So I need some backing there to
well, you know, Utes
claims,
is leaving Solana, so how much longer can you claim that one? But
no, he's saying the best on Polygon is going to be Utes.
Oh, on Polygon. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, no, never mind. I think the CNN hit piece is an interesting topic. Maybe we talk about it tomorrow.
Yeah, I could get behind that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I'm queuing up the ETH Denver 2022 event to outro on. GIF, I'll let you take us out right now. Our Vibe, our tribe. Thank you guys for tuning in. Aavegotchi, Gotchi gang, you guys were awesome. We seek to, have great projects on the channel, and I think we accomplish our goal on this one.
I learned a lot, and I am going to go look around the Gotchi floor and see where I can. I don't know where I'm going to have liquidity from. I just keep buying other fucking things right now. But I do want a ghost. I'm convinced at least that I want a ghost, and I want to be in the mix on this. And knowing that I can put it into a vault is great. All right. Look, we're going to be talking a lot about ETH Denver in the run-up. It's only 2 weeks out, and there's so much going on. Last ETH Denver was awesome. This one will be different, but awesome as well. I really hope if y'all are out there and you can hear this, that maybe you're going to go or you know someone going and you'll help us get out the word about Web3 Denver. But yeah, this is just a little recap that Phil put together from last year. You can see what a badass time it is. And yeah, nice sweater, Q. Our Vibe, our tribe.
Our Vibe, our tribe. Buffalo, we see you.
Big love, Buff.
Overthink tomorrow when we're alright. That's when we forget just who we are. Make us come together and it's alright. That's when you remember who you are.
They're turning on the burr again! Let's fucking go! Significant decline in inflation means number goes fucking up! Burr goes fucking up!